What's going on YouTube? So while the Toyota Grand Highlander is one of the newer options in the class, it has quickly shaken up the segment against established options such as the Nissan Pathfinder.
But the Pathfinder is not backing down, getting an extensive refresh for 2026 to make it more competitive than ever before. So which of these Japanese family SUVs should you take? That's what we're here to find out today.
Today we will be checking out the top trims of these two SUVs, both conveniently named Platinum and priced in the mid $50,000 range. But if you're looking to buy either of them, make sure to check out carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price and access to invoice pricing information. Starting with the exteriors, the differences quickly begin when you check out each of these SUVs. The newer Toyota goes for a tough and boxy look, a popular style for many nowadays. Meanwhile, the Pathfinder sports a smoother and more elegant look, and with its refresh this year, adds many of the latest Nissan elements, such as a larger grille. While we don't score the designs, let us know which one you'd pick in the comments. However, we will score the many features and differences throughout, starting with the headlights. While both have LED units, the Toyota carries quite a few advantages here. Not only does it have a more premium projector LED headlamp unit, all the other elements are also LED. Furthermore, the GH has fog lamps, something the Pathfinder no longer includes this year for the Platinum. By the way, if you want, feel free to keep your own score along the way based on what's most important to you. As we move to the side, you might be able to tell where the Grand Highlander comes from. As one of the largest offerings in the segment, it has about a 4-inch size advantage over the Pathfinder, which will make a difference when we talk about interior space later on. Both have 20-inch alloy wheels, and the Nissan offers more paint choices with the available black roof combination that the Toyota does not have. Out back, their design trends continue, and there are more feature differences to discuss. While both have spoilers, exposed wipers, and lots of branding, it's only the Toyota that has fully LED taillight clusters. However, the Nissan can handle an additional 1,000 pounds of towing capacity, a notable advantage for some families. The mirrors on both include heating, blind spot monitoring, and power folding. But what about the other safety systems? Well, they continue to match each other, with all of their brands' respective active safety systems as standard equipment, including advanced adaptive cruise control systems. But much more important things wait for us on the inside, so let's get to that. But first,
If you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from our long-term vehicle videos to our side-by-side comparisons, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. Walking up to them, each has their brand's respective key fobs with standard smart entry. However, only the Grand Highlander offers integrated door sensors to unlock the door, and only the Pathfinder has long-range capable remote start built into the fob, subscription-free for life. Opening up the doors, we are greeted with plush yet practical cabins for the family. While each offers full leather seats with heating, ventilation, memory, and 10 ways of power adjustment, the Pathfinder wraps its seats in a more premium semi-aniline leather, one of the highest grades of leather. Hopping inside, we can get into the overall materials and the build quality, which will divide into two distinct categories. When it comes to materials, both use a generous amount of leather, soft touch plastic, and faux wood trim throughout. But for build quality, the Pathfinder has the advantage with a plusher feel and overall more solidity. So while both look nice, it'll be the Pathfinder that feels nicer overall. After startup, you'll see 12.3-inch digital gauge clusters on both, with plenty of customizability. Both also have large head-up displays, and moving back, both have leather-wrapped heated steering wheels. Only the Nissan has power adjustment, a rare feature in the mainstream space. Now let's analyze interior storage, which will split into both center console size and additional storage cubbies, starting with our signature donut test for console storage. The GH excels here, with a full 24 donuts, while the Pathfinder is further behind at around 16 donuts. Moving forward, they are much more similar, with additional storage cubbies, passenger storage shelves, and center pass-through storage space. While they both have wireless chargers, the Pathfinder has a next-gen Qi 2 charger, which has MagSafe and much higher charging speeds. Storage space comes courtesy of electronic shifters, and in reverse, they both have 360-degree camera systems. Moving up the dash, they also share 3-zone automatic climate control systems with physical controls that are easy to use while driving without distraction. They also have physical volume knobs, so let's give the audio systems a sample. With a couple extra features and a richer tone from its Bose system, the Pathfinder has the audio advantage. Moving to the screens, both offerings now have standard 12.3-inch displays, thanks to the 2026 Pathfinder improvements. The respective systems include navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and Google built-in for just the Pathfinder. Finally, up top, both models have panoramic moonroofs and auto-dimming mirrors, but only the Toyota has rear camera ability. Now let's head to the back seats to see if the Grand Highlander's length advantage pays off. While the headroom in the second row is practically identical, the Toyota is much larger in terms of legroom by about 10%, and it's easy to see in practice while sitting back there. The seats themselves are comfortable with heating, reclining, and sliding abilities. And the features continue, with integrated vents, USB connections, center consoles, and window sunshades. However, the Grand Highlander has the edge once again, as its back seats are additionally ventilated and it has a household power outlet. Before climbing into the third rows, the Nissan seats allow for a car seat to stay in place while sliding, as the seat back doesn't move. Space-wise, the Pathfinder once again is a close match for headroom, but the GH blows it out of the water for legroom, with an over 17% advantage. The Toyota continues its advantages into the third row features too, where it offers USB ports and reclining seats, above and beyond the vents, cup holders, and 3 seats that both of them offer. Now, let's open the hands-free power tailgates to check out the cargo areas. The Grand Highlander was built with cargo space in mind, which means it really flexes its packaging genius on the Pathfinder here. In all 3 configurations, the Toyota holds a roughly 20% or more space advantage, topping out at almost 100 cubic feet of space. Beyond that, features are pretty barren on both, but there are spare tires hidden below. Alright, that's it for the interiors, so now let's take this close fight to the streets. Throughout this comparison, the differences can be seen between an old school and new school product, and that continues under the hood of each. While the Grand Highlander adopted a more modern slate of turbo and hybridized powertrains, the Pathfinder keeps its tried and true naturally aspirated V6 for 2026. In the GH, we have the equivalent 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder. And while that engine produces more torque, the Pathfinder still has more horsepower and the quicker 0 to 60 acceleration. It's also worth mentioning that the refinement and smoothness of the V6 in the Nissan is appreciated by most in comparison to the turbo 4-cylinder. Alright, so there we were hitting 60 miles an hour with this Pathfinder Platinum. So Mason already introduced it really well, of course. The big news with the 2026 Pathfinder is not actually something new, it's something retained that we weren't expecting. So we actually get to keep the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 engine this year, even though the mechanically related Infiniti QX60 has switched over to the 2 liter variable compression turbo 4-cylinder. Alright, there's our acceleration to 60 miles per hour with the Grand Highlander. So, like we mentioned at the spec dump, one of the things that honestly make the Grand Highlander stand out a lot against the competition is that you have a wide variety of powertrain choices, and you can just pick what matches your lifestyle the best. Now, what's standard is what we're driving today. This is the 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This makes 265 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Both have traditional 8 and 9-speed automatic transmissions, which we find to perform mostly well in day-to-day driving. The Toyota gets the slight edge for overall smoothness and being more sure of itself. Our testers both have all-wheel drive as equipped. Now, as far as the transmission is concerned, we've got an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is also nice and smooth and a good partner with this powertrain. Speaking of, let's talk about that. We've got a 9-speed ZF automatic transmission. This was a second-gen option that they added when they redesigned this. It stays the same. Yeah, definitely willing to downshift easily. It can go down multiple gears at once, and I think the tuning seems even a little bit better than in the 2025. Now, let's talk handling and ride quality. Ride quality for these two is a bright spot, as they are some of the best riding in the segment, and the entire auto industry. However, with the help of the Pathfinder's zero-gravity seats, it will be the best of the best for this comparison. However, when it comes to taking on a back road, the Toyota demonstrates more agility and body control.
Also going to be great with the Grand Highlander is your ride quality. So as you saw just there with the bridge abutment, we have really great ride on this vehicle. So we're sitting at 20-inch wheels on the outside. You have really soft and supportive seats up here in the front, and the suspension just does a great job. Now, they're not going to have anything fancy going on with adaptive dampers or anything like that, but they've just really done a good job of tuning the suspension to be exactly what families are wanting. Now, I want to take a second to discuss ride quality for the Pathfinder. Now, this is an area we've always been impressed with. That, of course, is really not going to change for the 2026 refresh. So we still have really good ride quality. This vehicle is one of those that you just kind of cruise down the highway and, just sink into the seats and take a good nap, because the suspension does a great job of soaking up any bumps that you may hit in the road. As you can see, this road is not all that smooth, actually, as a matter of fact, and it's doing a great job even with the large wheels on the outside. Nissan zero-gravity seats, I'll say it again, I've said it in past reviews, but they are absolutely fantastic as well.
In addition to having comfy seats, let's talk about the noise levels in the cabins. Since we drove the Pathfinder at a media launch in Tennessee, we can't officially score these readings today. Initial readings say that the Grand Highlander will be the quieter of the two, but we'll have to wait until we get one back at home to sample. Here are the readings for your reference in the meantime.
Very nicely done. 52.8 decibels is what we are sitting at. Very good. 56.3 decibels is what we are sitting at.
And finally, for fuel economy, these two are surprisingly rated at the same fuel economy. That means V6 lovers won't have to trade off efficiency for refinement. But we would be remiss if we did not mention the Toyota's other choices. They have two hybrid systems, one that delivers up to 365 horsepower, and the other that delivers up to 36 miles per gallon combined. These efficient choices are certainly an advantage. In our reviews and comparisons, we're also adding in reliability and resale information to give you a better picture of overall value beyond just the original MSRP. Beginning with reliability, we developed the Combined Reliability Index, which takes into account several studies from trustworthy sources and combines them in a way that gives a more realistic picture. In this respect, Toyota takes the #1 spot for all vehicle brands, 15 slots above the industry average, giving it plus 3 points. while Nissan is slightly below industry average, at 1 slot below average, taking away 0.2 points. Related to that, they offer the same warranties and even share 2 years of complimentary maintenance. We also put Mason's economics degree to work to develop a detailed predicted resale value tool. After 5 years and 60,000 miles, there's a pretty big discrepancy. The Toyota comes in at a very high predicted resale value percentage of 64.5%, and the Nissan is lower at 50.56%. That roughly 13% difference will give the Toyota plus 2.6 points. But how do these Platinum models break down in terms of price? As has been the trend lately, the Toyota is priced higher than most of its rivals in the segment, with the Grand Highlander pushing over $57,000 for a Platinum this year. The Pathfinder has always been a value-packed model in the segment, and that continues for the refresh, with a price just under $55,000. But let's account for the price difference using our scale. This $3,195 difference will give the Nissan plus 1.5 points. Additionally, while we can't score this, keep in mind that the Pathfinder has historically been the more likely one to have discounts at the dealership level. We want to emphasize that if money, reliability, or resale value matter less to you personally, feel free to disregard these points.
So there you have it, the objective winner. Do you agree? Well, let's go over some pros and cons about why you might buy each one of them based on what's most important to you. So the Pathfinder would probably be your best choice if you're looking for, of course, that V6 refinement. Also, if you're looking for the interior that's a little bit more plush overall. And, of course, the less expensive price tag as well.
Yeah, now on the flip side, the Grand Highlander should be your choice if you're wanting something more spacious. It's definitely more spacious in the third row and cargo areas, more premium exterior lighting, and it also has available hybrid options, which is something you can't get on the Pathfinder. And speaking of where these vehicles are excelling each over the other, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. We've looked at all the 3-row midsize SUVs on the market and ranked them in the 10 most important categories to this type of buyer. Things like cargo space, interior technology, powertrain choices, third row, and value are all detailed for you, so you can see the best options in each of those categories because it is a very large segment. So you'll definitely want to check our tool out at carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. But which will we put in our driveways?
So for me, I'm going with the Grand Highlander. Specifically, I want to say the Hybrid Max because, in my opinion, even though that one can be a bit pricey, that's the best of both worlds in terms of power and efficiency.
I'm also going with the Grand Highlander. I do think it's a better overall 3-row family SUV. Now, if you're looking to buy either one of these SUVs, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes as well. Now, the reason you should do that is because we have a tool on our website that'll connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool to use while dealership negotiating. If you'd like to take advantage of that, as well as things like our monthly payment tool, you can find a link to that down below in our video description, as well as a pinned comment at the top of this video. And guys, that wraps up this comparison. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, we'd really appreciate you subscribing down below, becoming a part of our Car Confections family. And if you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.